voice. All right, so here we go. We've got a small business. It's a plumber. Charges $32 per job plus $18 per hour. If the total bill for the job is $95, how many hours do you work? We're going to graph this thing. So I've got my y-axis already created. I'm going to make my x-axis right here, going out this way. And I'm setting it up the same way where I've got the hours that were worked on the x-axis and then how much was charged, or how much he's going to charge on the y-axis. And so the number of hours worked, the least amount is going to be 0 hours. And then who remembers in here, when you calculated, what was the most number of hours you calculated him working? It was, does anyone remember? What was it, Lauren? It's roughly 3.5. I think it was like 3 8/18 of an hour, but that's basically 3.5 hours. So I'm going to go a little bit farther. I'm going to go all the way up to 4 hours. So I need to go from 0 to 4 hours. Now some kids will do this: 1, 2, 3, 4. But that makes my graph very smushed. So I would discourage doing that. Instead, what I would say, let's space it out a little bit. Let's do 0, give a line, then do 1. And then give a line, and then do 2. Give a line, and then do 3. Give a line, and then do 4. It's still kind of smushed. You could spread it out more, but, I mean, this is at least a little bit better. So basically, it's like I'm counting by halves. You see that? I'm counting by halves. So I'm going to go all the way up to 4 hours. And then for my y-axis, who remembers how high I'm trying to go on my y-axis for this particular problem? Does anyone in here remember? Let's go with Justin. $95. Yes, that's right, because you see they only have you calculate up to 95. Now it could go higher, and in fact I'm going to go just slightly higher. I'm going to go up to $100. It's good to just kind of go a little bit beyond on your graph just to make sure that everything fits on there well. So I'm going to count by 10. So I'm going to 0, skip a line, 10. Let's see. Apparently I have a meeting in just a couple minutes. So skip a line 10, skip a line 20, skip a line 30, skip a line 40, skip a line 50, skip a line 60, skip a line 70. I'm not going to have enough room, so I'm going to have to rethink this. I'm going to have to count by something bigger. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm probably going to count by 20s. So I'm going to do 0, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Okay? So you still you might have to do that. You might start off doing a graph one way and then say, oh, I'm going to change my scale because it's not fitting on my paper. That's fine. So anyway, so now if this plumber works 0 hours, then the total charge is going to be $32. Now, this is $20. That's $30 because it's halfway in between 20 and 40. So 32 is going to be just barely above that. So I'm going to plot a point right there. Okay? And then I also found out that roughly about 3.5 hours, it's actually just barely before 3.5 hours, he charges $95. That's what you calculated back in the word problem. This really equals roughly about 3.4 hours. So I'm going to go 3.4, and I'm going to go all the way up to $95. And in that case, here's $90. I'm going to go halfway in between, so it's going to be right there. Put a point there as best as you can. And then I'm going to connect the points. So from here to there. And it just keeps going off in that direction. So that is how you're going to graph number 2.